everyone, and a special hi to everybody in 1Q at Lowbrook Academy today. Welcome to our third marvellous maths lesson this week, the last one before the Easter holidays. Are we ready to do some marvellous maths? Let's warm our brains up. So we're going to play our rock, paper, scissors game again today. Remember, I'm going to count down from 3, and when I get to 1, I know I confused everyone last time, when I get to 1, you're going to hold some fingers towards the screen whilst I hold fingers towards the camera. Now your job is to add my fingers and your fingers together. Now if you want to really test yourself today, you can use 2 hands, but I'm only going to use 1. If you also want to test yourself, particularly year 2s, you can multiply my fingers by yours. So are we ready? When I get to 1, are we ready? 3, 2, 1, show. I've got 3 fingers. How many do you have? Add them together or multiply them. And the next one, ready? 3, 2, 1, show. 5 fingers this time. 3, 2, 1, show. 2 fingers this time. Let's do one more. Shall I challenge you and do 2 hands this time? Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, show. I've got 7 fingers. Great job, guys. You can always rewind it and have another go if you want to test yourselves. Let's start with today's maths lesson then. So at the end of my last video on addition, I showed you this question with missing numbers in. We've got a missing 10, a missing 100 and a missing 1 in our answer. So go and grab your answer now if you had a go at this last lesson. If you didn't, pause the video now while you work out your answers. Okay, let's have a look then at what the answers are. So we always start with our ones column in column addition. So we've got 1 add 8. So 1 in my head, 8 on my fingers and count on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So our missing number in our ones column was 9. So for our tens column, we're going to have to use our missing number addition. So we know 6 add something equals 8. So we put 6 in our head and we're going to count on our fingers until we reach 8. Ready? 6, 7, 8. So I've got 2 fingers up. So 2 is our missing number in the tens column. Let's do the same for the hundreds. I put 4 in my head and I'm going to count on my fingers until I reach 7. Don't forget to tell me when to stop. Ready? 4, 5, 6, 7, stop! So I have 3 on my fingers. So 3 is my missing number. Well done to all of you that managed to get all of those missing numbers on that question last week. Okay then, let's see what you can remember from last week. On the screen, there are 5 addition questions. 3 of them are standard number sentences and 2 of them are column addition. On one of the column addition questions, you're going to have to carry numbers. So let's see if you can remember how you do that. Pause the screen while you have a go at these 5 addition questions. And remember, year 1, if you're not sure on the column addition, you can ask your grown-up to write each column out as an individual number sentence for you to practice. Okay, let's have a look at the answers then. So we'll start with the first one, 53 add 9. So we label it SUKT, starting, counting, target. We put our starting number in our head, 53 in our head. We put our counting number on our fingers, 9 on our fingers, and we count on. Ready? Count with me. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So the answer is 62. Well done if you got that. Let's have a look at the next one then. Label it SUKT, SUKT. 74 in my head, 6 on my fingers and count on. 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. Well done if you got 80. Now some of you will have recognised in that question that we had a number bond to 10. So well done if you used that information to help you. So the third one then, 95 add 7. Well, label it SUKT, SUKT. Starting number in your head, counting number on your fingers and count on. Ready? 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102. Well done if you got all 3 of those number sentences correct. So now we're going to move on to our first column addition question. Now we always start with the ones column in column addition. So the first number sentence we're going to answer is 3 add 6. So 3 in your head, 6 on your fingers and count on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the answer in our ones column is 9. Moving on to the tens column then, 8 add 1. So 8 in your head, 1 on your fingers and count on. 1 more than 8 is 9. So the answer to 83 add 16 is 99. Okay, now this one is the one that's there to test you. We're going to have to carry numbers on this one. So we start with our ones column again. 6 in your head, 6 on your fingers and count on. Ready? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But I can't put 12 in my ones column because I've got a 10 there that doesn't belong. So I put my 2 from my 12 in my ones column and I have to add my 10 into the tens column. So I've got 12 there as my answer to 6 add 6, but my 10 goes into the tens column. So now I move into the tens column. 6 in my head and 2 on my fingers and count on. 6, 7, 8. But don't forget that 1 that we carried before. So we have 9 in our tens column. And finally in our hundreds column, 1 add nothing equals, absolutely, it equals 1. So 166 add 26 equals 192. Fantastic, all of you that got 5 out of 5 on those questions, well done. So today we're going to use our knowledge of addition to answer word problems. Now word problems have hidden number sentences in them. They're written in words and you have to find the information in the sentence to find out what number sentence it is you need to solve. And to help us with that, we use a method called rucksack. Shall we have a look at what rucksack means? Let's start with the R, the R in rucksack. The R stands for read. So the first thing you have to do when you see a word problem is read the word problem. The next thing you have to do is underline. Now don't underline the whole thing. You need to underline the key information, the most important parts of the question. And we'll come to how we know what the important parts of the question are in a moment. Then we have to choose. We have to choose which operation we're going to use to answer the question. Do we need to add? Do we need to take away, multiply or divide? Now for today's lesson we're focusing on addition, but you might find in work later on that you have to choose out of all 4 operations. So once we've chosen which operation, we then have to solve. So we have to use our knowledge of the method to solve the question and work out what the answer might be. Once we've solved it, we write down the answer, and once we've written down our answer, we have to check that we've calculated it correctly. Okay, so let's have a go then. Here's our first word problem. Sam had 114 Pokemon cards. His brother gave him his 132 cards. How many cards does Sam have altogether? Well, we know we can't use a number sentence for this because we don't have 132 fingers to help us add. So let's start off by using rucksack. So we write rucksack down next to the problem. So we've read it. The next thing we need to do is underline the important information. Well, we're doing a maths problem, so the numbers are definitely going to be important information. So we've got 114 and we've got 132. But we're also going to need to see if there's any words in the numbers. But we're also going to have a look for any important words in the word problem that might help us in a moment to choose which operation we need. And I can see an important word here, altogether. Because when we've got the word altogether, we know that we're going to be adding. So that helps us with our next step of rucksack, choose. We know that we are adding today. So we now come on to solving. If you're confident with doing this addition yourself, you can pause the video now and have a go. But if you'd like to do it with me, keep watching the video. So we know we're adding and we know what our important numbers are. So we can write out our column addition. We've got 114 add 132. So just for this question, let's break it down into more manageable number sentences. We know we start with our ones column, and then we do our tens and then our hundreds. So our three number sentences that we need to solve is 4 add 2, 1 add 3, and 1 add 1. Now that you know that, pause the video while you have a go at solving this column addition problem. Okay, let's have a look then. So we start with our ones column. 4 in our head, 2 on our fingers, and count on 5, 6. So 4 add 2 equals 6. So the answer in our ones column is 6. Now let's move on to the tens, the blue number sentence. 1 add 3. 1 in your head, 3 on your fingers, and count on 2, 3, 4. So 1 add 3 equals 4. Now we move on to our hundreds column, the green number sentence. 1 add 1. Nice and simple. 1 more than 1 is 2. So our answer to 114 add 132 is 246. We know that Sam now has 246 Pokemon cards altogether. So we've read, we've underlined, we've chosen our operation, we've solved, and we've answered. Now we need to check. So pause the video while you double check that all of my working out is correct. Have I answered each number sentence correctly? Are we all good? Any errors? Good. Okay, let's have a look at the next question. So we're going to need rucksack to help us. So we write down rucksack to remind us how we do it. If you're happy with how to solve this word problem on your own, then you can pause the video while you have a go now, and then you can join us later to find out the answer. If not, stick with me and we'll do it together. So the first thing we need to do for rucksack is read. Let's read it together. Shelley has 29 colouring pencils and 15 colouring pens. How many colours does she have all together? Okay, so we've read the problem. Now we need to underline. So I'll get my pen. Let's underline the important information. Have a think now. What's the important information in this word problem? Well, we know that the numbers are important. We've got 29 colouring pencils and 15 colouring pens. But we also need to underline all together because that's going to tell us that we are adding. So we can now choose our operation. We're going to add today. So now let's move on to solving it. So here's my column addition, 29 add 15. If you're confident with column addition, you don't need to write out these individual number sentences. They're there for anybody that isn't too sure on using column addition. So now that that information's on the screen for you, you can pause the video while you work out the answer to the 29 add 15. Now don't forget, you might need to carry some tens, so don't forget how to do that. Okay, let's see how we got on. So we start with our ones column. So 9 in my head and 5 on my fingers, and I count on 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the answer to our ones column is 14, but we've got a 10 there. So that 10 can't go in the ones column. We have to write the 10 underneath the tens column. And our 4 goes in the ones column because 9 add 5 equals 14. Now we move on to our tens column. 2 in our head, 1 on our finger. 1 more than 2 is 3, but we've also got that 1 that we carried before. So the answer is 44. Fantastic if you manage to do that accurately with carrying the tens. So guys, I'm going to show you a video now, and then I'm going to show you a word problem using the information you see in the video. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so in the video I was doing some cleaning. So let's have a look at the word problem. Miss Quimby did some cleaning. She spent 312 seconds dusting and 84 seconds mopping. How many seconds did she spend cleaning altogether? So your job is going to be to use rucksack to help you to solve that problem. Pause the video while you have a go. Let's have a look at how we do it then. So the first thing for rucksack is we read the problem. Miss Quimby did some cleaning. She spent 312 seconds dusting and 84 seconds mopping. How many seconds does she spend cleaning altogether? So we've read the problem. We underline the important information. We know we always underline the numbers. And we're looking for that important word again that's going to help us to choose our operation, which is all together. We're going to add all the numbers all together to find our answer. So we've chosen addition. So now we solve it. We write it out as a column addition. We start with our ones column. And our ones column is 2 add 4. So 2 in your head, 4 on your fingers, and count on 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 in our ones column. Then we move on to our tens column. 1 in our head, 8 on our fingers, and count on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 96 so far. Then we move on to our hundreds column. 3 in our head, nothing on our fingers. 3 add nothing is, you got it, it's 3. So we've solved our word problem. We've written our answer. Now we need to check. Am I sure that 2 add 4 is 6? I can just double check. 2 in my head, 4 on my fingers. 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely 6. 1 in my head, 8 on my fingers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Happy with that. 3 in my head, add nothing is 396. Fantastic. Okay, I've got another video for you guys. This one's a little bit trickier, so make sure you're paying attention. Has multiple steps. You're still going to use rucksack to do this, but we're going to do it one step at a time. So pause the video while you have a go at part A, then we'll come back and look at the answer, and then we'll move on to the next step. Pause the video now. Okay, so let's use rucksack to help us to solve this first step of this word problem. So we read first. Miss Quimby did a home workout. She did 75 sit-ups, 68 squats, 21 leg raises and 14 press-ups. How many sit-ups and leg raises did she do altogether? So the next step is to underline. Now, normally I would say we underline all the numbers, but this question's a bit different. We only need to know how many sit-ups and how many leg raises. So let's look for sit-ups. Oh, we've got 75 sit-ups. Don't need squats for this question, but we do need the 21 leg raises. And of course, that all-important word in this word problem, all together, which tells us that we're going to be adding. So we've chosen our operation we're going to add today. So now we need to solve. So we can write it out as a column addition. We've got 75 add 21. So now we do the ones column first. 5 in our head, 1 on my finger, and count on. 1 more than 5 is 6. Then we can move on to the tens. 7 add 2. 7 in my head and count on. 8, 9. So we have 9. So altogether I did 96 sit-ups and leg raises. So we've solved it. And we've got our answer. Now the final step of rucksack is to check that we've calculated it correctly. So have a quick look at the screen, make sure I've added my numbers together properly. Now we can move on to part B. Pause the video now while you read part B and have a go. Okay, so let's use rucksack to help us solve this word problem. We read first. Miss Quimby did a home workout. She did 75 sit-ups, 68 squats, 21 leg raises and 14 press-ups. How many squats and press-ups did she do altogether? So remember, when we underline the important information, we need to think about what the question is asking for. We only need the squats and the press-ups for this question. So let's have a look. We don't need the sit-ups. We do need the 68 squats. We don't need the leg raises, but we do need the 14 press-ups. And of course, we need to underline that important word, all together. So now that we've done that, we can choose our operation. Well, we know for today that we are adding, but using that word all together, that tells us that we're combining numbers together, so we are going to add. So now we can solve. Let's have a look at our column addition then. So we've got 68 squats, add 14 press-ups. So let's do the ones column first. 8 in my head, 4 on my fingers, and count on. 9, 10, 11, 12. So we know that the answer is 12. However, we've got a 10 there in our answer, which can't go in the ones column. It has to be carried under the tens column. So we put our 10 down here and our 2 from our 12 there. So 8 add 4 equals 12. Then we move on to the tens. We have 6 in our head. 1 more than 6 is 7, but we've also got that 10 that we carried. So we have 82. So that's the answer to part 2. Well done if you got that, guys. So finally we can have a look at the third part of the question, part C. Now pause the video now while you have a go, but I'll give you a clue. Your answers to A and B might help you with this question. So let's have a look then at part C and how we can answer it. We're going to use rucksack, so let's read the word problem first. Miss Quimby did a home workout. She did 75 sit-ups, 68 squats, 21 leg raises and 14 press-ups. How many repetitions of all the exercises did she do altogether? So now we need to underline the important information. The question wants to know how many repetitions of each exercise I performed. So we need to know how many sit-ups, how many squats, how many leg raises, and how many press-ups. And we need to know all together. Now that's going to mean adding 4 numbers together. But if you remember, I gave you a clue and said that your answer to A and your answer to B might help you with this question. Well, we've already done part of the work. We've added 2 pairs of the numbers together. So there's no point adding them together again. Let's use our answer to A and B. So we're going to add A and B together because A was the number of sit-ups and leg raises altogether and B was the number of squats and press-ups. So if we add those 2 numbers together, then we would have added all 4 exercises together. So our column addition will be 96, which is our answer to A, plus 82, which is our answer to B. So let's do our ones first. 6 add 2, 6 in my head, 2 on my fingers, count on, 7, 8. Then on to my tens. 9 in my head, 8 on my fingers and count on. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now we've got 100 in that answer, so we need to carry that over into the hundreds column and then we can put the 7 in our tens column. And finally we have nothing add nothing, but we have carried that 1 into our hundreds column. So we have 178. So we've got our answer. We've solved it and we've got our answer. Now we need to check. So have a quick look and check that we've calculated that correctly. So some of that maths was really tricky, guys, and I'm really impressed that you all tried so hard. This is where the fun starts. This is the end of my lesson, but I'd like you to carry on with some maths at home. Your parents are going to love this. I'd like you to do what I did earlier and do some cleaning around the house. Make sure you ask your mums and dads what you can do to help them, what needs cleaning, and I'd like them to time how many seconds it takes you to do each job. Then they're going to write a word problem for you, just like I did with my cleaning word problem before. And you're going to add the time that it took you to do each cleaning job together. Let's see how many of you can solve your word problem set for you by your parents at home. You've done a fantastic job today, guys. As I said, this wasn't easy. There's lots of tricky stuff, particularly for the year ones. So if any of it confused you, make sure you rewind it and have another look, because there's no point leaving this lesson if you're not sure. You've done fantastically. I'm really happy with you all. Keep an eye out for Miss Wetherall's next video. Have a brilliant Easter holiday and stay safe, guys. I'll see you really soon. Bye, guys.